table, surrounded by business security advisors. They're able to call up images from the CIA, from the Kabul on-the-ground headquarters, the Pentagon, all of that to be able to get information. Among the things they need to decide, there's a backstage, front stage piece. We're getting bits of information that are now being provided to us in a public way to answer some of the questions and concerns of the American people, and behind the scenes, decisions do need to be made.
Hi, Catherine Jones. Hello, Norma Wheaton. How are you?
Are there other explosive devices in the area? What kind of resources do they have to look for that?
So this is a complex attack outside Kabul airport. There have been a lot of casualties.
Reporting has been more limited. We have some pictures of the Kabul airport that we don't have as much of the on-the-ground capability that we had even just days ago. So
injuries reported. Casualties reported. You getting ready for your doctor's appointment? Well, America is blaming ISIS. They are not blaming the Taliban. And it seems as though, according to this news report and all news reports, American servicemen lost their lives. Yes, they did. American servicemen have lost their lives. They're blaming it on ISIS, and they're still selling the bill of sale that says that the Taliban is the good guy. America's news people are saying Taliban released ISIS prisoners. I don't know that to be fact. But what I do know to be fact is that America televisions are painting the Taliban as the good guys, and ISIS is the culprit. ISIS is free, walking through the Taliban. Suicide bombers. I am watching NBC now. Oh, they're saying that the Taliban on CBS, they're saying that they're saying that the Taliban released ISIS prisoners.
If you listened over the last 3 days, that they're expecting some.
I know it's really disturbing to me to hear Western news media describe the Taliban as a good group of people. It is so fucking alarming to me to hear all of the news say the Taliban are good people. There was a bombing at the Kabul airport, and there are casualties. There was a bomb. The news is saying that there was a bomb in a drainage system that exploded.
So it's not surprising that this happened. It's very sad that it happened. But I think it's also
why do we have such a large military if this is the shit that happens on our watch? Seems to me like our military is kind of useless. We've got this huge military, but look at how fucking weak we are right here. Look at how weak we are. What the legitimate fuck is wrong with military leaders? Look at how weak we are. Why do we have $1 trillion defense budget when this is what battles that we have fucking look like?
And so I think this is an expected tragedy, but
this is what battles look like. What good is $1 trillion military budget when this is what we fucking look like anytime we try to do something? Anytime, it seems, we try to do something, this is what we fucking look like. Why do we have $1 trillion military budget?
A suicide attack killed 13 people.
What the fuck has happened to our military?
Again, this is Taliban sources telling NBC News.
Why were we over there for 20 years and so fucking ineffective?
Deployed at the gate where the blast took place, and that U.S. officials moved their people inside the airport a few minutes before the blast occurred. Again, this are reporting from Taliban.
Why do we have $1 trillion military budget when this is the shit that happens?
It's just a persistent threat that there could be more attacks and more explosions, right, Clint?
Oh, it happens every time. It's not just Biden. Remember Vietnam? It happens every fucking time.
Consistent with what we've seen
Remember the truths that we learned about what really happened in Vietnam after we pulled out of Vietnam? What is it that makes you think this situation is any damn different? If our military will allow women in their ranks to be raped and then ostracized and discharged because they spoke up, then we're perfectly capable of the same activity that happened during the Vietnam War. But we are being told, you blindly support the blue, you blindly support the military. I'm angry about this, and it has nothing to do.
And part of the reason why that 31st August deadline.
This happens every time. It doesn't matter which president does it. It's a fucking clusterfuck. It happens every time. We don't need $1 trillion military budget if this is the kind of shit we're doing around the world.
So close to the airport? I don't think
Your Donald Trump started this bit. I'm going to block you from commenting on my channel if you come in here and fuck with me. I want you to go on notice that I am in no goddamn mood to hear you blaming a president while people are dying. Do you fucking understand that?
How complex and how challenging that is. So now you're talking about increasing security at the gates, increasing search, looking for and developing ways to expand the perimeter. All that is very difficult to do when you're.
They should have started leaving. Civilians should have started being evacuated as soon as Donald Trump entered a treaty with the Taliban. Now, I have no interest in debating while people are losing their fucking life. Let's wait till we have a body count and the actual facts out before we try to debate this shit. That's what I'm saying. Have a little fucking respect. Have a little respect. People are dying right now. I've got lots of mods in here. I don't need a mod in here. I'm good. I don't get that many haters on YouTube.
You got to get out of Kabul airport. It doesn't mean you can't develop other ways for you.
There's not a For You page on YouTube.
But the longer the U.S. stays here, just imagine you're a terrorist group like we were talking about right before I came on.
We got the job done.
The United States go in.
We lost a good bit of soldiers, but we got the job done.
You've now seen 10 days, right?
So what the hell happened?
Extremist group, they pay attention.
What happened?
So if you're a terrorist group, you pay attention. You look at where the weakness is. How can I inflict?
Because I don't blanket trust
where I can hit a large body
military.
Gates, and then what are my?
I don't blanket trust military leaders.
Do that, and you execute an attack. Now that they've done it once,
you have to show me.
One or two.
I want to know what the truth is about this shit. I don't want to wait 10 years like Vietnam to find out what the truth is. Hi, Capture Kim.
The U.S. government's really got to stick to that timeline. This is
I don't want to wait 20 years like Vietnam to find out what the fucking truth is.
Clint, you said earlier that
the Taliban released ISIS prisoners. The Taliban had a lot of ISIS prisoners, and they released ISIS prisoners, and now those ISIS prisoners are bombing us. This was planned.
One would imagine, based on the fact that
this has been planned for a year.
There are CIA assets that are at least looking at what's happening across
to make America look bad, to make Joe Biden look bad.
Things that could have been anticipated.
I do not trust that this is not about Donald Trump's actions in the last days he was in president. They sure did. They screwed us from the beginning, and Flynn's son is making military decisions there. That's right, Karen.
Was specifically named. So
Flynn's son.
There is some sort of an intelligence apparatus that is able to pick up on, what these impending attacks are. But they're not going to be perfect, and it's the situation.
There's a lot of fucking answers, things that have to be answered, and I'm not going to debate assholes that come in here and say, "How do you like Biden now?" Get the fuck out. It terrifies me what I think I see going on here. It terrifies me what I think I see going on here.
To try and inflict harm on the United States.
Just a few seconds ago, we saw a map that helped us have a better understanding of
it terrifies me.
How everything is laid out around the
it really does.
There. If we can bring that back up, you can see right there the airport that all the evacuation flights have been taking part in, and then Abbey Gate, which we've heard so much conversation about, and then just below that, Barron
It is.
Hotel. So to give you some context again, the Pentagon spokesman says we can confirm there was an explosion at the Abbey Gate that was the result of a complex attack that resulted in a number of U.S.
It terrifies me.
casualties. And the Pentagon says we can also confirm at least one other explosion at or near the Barron Hotel, which is a short distance, as you can see there, from Abbey Gate. Clint, I don't know how well you know this area at all. Courtney Cubey was telling
This
us
is so
earlier, Barron
freaking
Hotel,
scary. It really is.
Is well known for Americans who are in the area, British as well. But this strikes me as something that I think they felt was a likely place that could be the target of an attack, right?
That's right. It's almost standard approach by international extremist groups to try and hit targets where there are many.
If we don't have the balls to finish a war, can we really stop getting into wars that we can't finish? Please stop getting into wars that we can't finish.
They know they're more likely to report about it out to the rest of the world, and so that's
It's only going to get worse. There are so many other things at afoot here.
What's the next move?
This is not about bin Laden. This is not about the Taliban. This is not about the Afghan people or ISIS. This is about fucking corruption. It stinks of corruption.
As night is falling there around the Kabul airport.
I think it's continuity of operations. They're going to try and maintain the pace at their extractions and regain that momentum as quickly as possible. Also, as you showed there in that footage, there are many jets.
But see, we can't address the things at home.
Over time, they become more vulnerable.
We can't address the things at home because the people in power
It's not common for random mortar fire to get fired into
are
airports
so damn
in a
evil.
rocky context. So I think for them,
It's really, it is terrible. This is scary as hell.
The other part that they have to look at, which
This
is,
makes me sick. It's all about nothing other than our poor military corruption. I believe it's so too.
Any potential eventuality that could be.
I know it really baffles me too, Elaine. It really does. It completely baffles me. The corruption runs deep, and it is terrifying. I am watching NBC live broadcast, NBC News live broadcast on YouTube. And it's going to be delayed because it's YouTube. So if you watch it on anything but YouTube, you're just going to be fucking annoyed.
Imagine collapsing this perimeter. Think about this. You're the last U.S. soldiers in Afghanistan. You got to get on the last plane. They'll have to seriously build out a complex extraction operation for the last folks that will leave. And
if they actually had balls and stood to the issue, but they're more driven by whether or not they're going to get reelected than the right thing to do. This is what happens when we allow politicians to run on whatever the fuck they want to get elected. They'll say whatever they need to get elected. And they'll do whatever they need to while in office to get reelected.
He is in London right now. We're starting to see world reaction.
When you have professional politicians running your country that are so out of touch with what real life is about, and they become corrupted, they have to remain corrupt because they don't know how to survive outside of politics. We have got to stop electing professional politicians. People who don't know how to survive outside of politics will do whatever it takes to keep their jobs. Because they don't have, oh, yay, Catherine.
Or other seriously high-stakes situations. The UK has around 1,000 troops on the ground in Afghanistan right now, serving alongside U.S. forces at Hamid Karzai International Airport. The UK...
How do I feel about the administration? Well, I have not seen that report, so I just can't comment on it. If I see that report, read that news article, whatever it is, then I can comment. But I have not, Linda Mass, read about that or heard about that, so I can't answer. I'm going to stop trying to answer shit that I don't know for sure the answer to. Our governor, your governor, is using the children as a COVID shield to protect the Republican voters.
Ireland right now.
That's happening in every single red state in the country.
But at the top of the address,
They're using children to protect their offices. You know why? Because they're all professional politicians. Our government was structured so that everyday people who own businesses, it used to be that if you were an experienced businessman that ran successful businesses in your area, you could get elected to go to Congress. And you would ride your horse and buggy all the way, but you would not stay there for a lifetime. You would want to return back to your business because we don't pay well in Congress. That isn't true anymore. Now, we are offered only professional politicians to vote for because regular people can't focus on the world enough to really learn the issues and run for election. So we hire professional politicians and we set ourselves up because they have to say and do whatever they need to say and do to remain in control of power. They're not doing the right thing all the time. They're doing what's going to save the party or save the vote.
After the Western militaries are gone, the Taliban have said they are
because they don't know how to survive without politics. Without being a political leader, they wouldn't be able to survive.
When Western forces are gone.
You're not hearing about what's his name, the old vice president. What was his name?
The Russians have been watching. The Chinese.
You're not hearing about him
and
finding any work, are you? He doesn't know how to do anything but be a politician.
Of what's unfolding in Afghanistan and the challenges that are presented with different factors.
Only the rich can afford to run.
What's happening right now?
That's why we need, absolutely, we need campaign finance reform. We need it to be a level playing field for everyone who gets a certain percentage of people in their voting booth.
The 20-year war in Afghanistan is ending with this chaotic withdrawal.
Butterbean,
Military, which the United States trained,
you can have a choice.
Supplied for so long.
You can have a choice. Nobody is forcing you to take the shot.
One school of thought says,
but we will force you to stay the fuck away from us and other people if you refuse the shot. You can't come around us if you are afraid of a shot, because you're going to kill little children that can't get vaccinated.
To stand by them in their time of need. That's one school of thought. A second,
hi, Misty. Bombing at Kabul. There was a bombing at the Kabul airport.
Far too long. These are wars
Butterbean,
post 9/11 era.
You don't have to take the shot, honey. Just stay the hell home if you don't. And oh, sweetheart, when you're sick and dying from the COVID, don't go to the hospital, please.
The United States is able to refocus its attention on the
almost 3,000, I believe. Almost 3,000 have died from this, and that was largely in the last wave. At least 1,800 of those were in the regular strain. The balance of those have been since Delta has made it to the United States. Hello, Pignot. It's good to see you, dear.
America's ability to deal with the issues that really, really matter, guys.
And Raf, well, we should be clear, it wasn't just the U.S. in the hours before this attack that warned of the possibility of something like this, but really U.K. defense officials were also really sounding the alarm, weren't they?
Oh, it's Jake. Hi, Jake. Nice to see you.
Yeah, that's right. It is the late afternoon.
No, it doesn't work both ways. It does not work both ways. Don't go to the hospital. Hospitals right now are full of people like you who won't get vaccinated.
There is an imminent
I am good. We're talking about some pretty scary news stuff right now, though. I don't know if you want to be in on it.
This was not a general.
We're talking about the bombing outside the Kabul airport. Hi, Robert Reddick.
Very urgent sounding of the alarm, which we are not used to hearing from the British government. That prediction, if you will, came true just a couple of hours later. So there clearly was some level of detailed intelligence.
I bet she has taken the cow wormer and some hydrochloroquine too. Funny how hydrochloroquine is no longer on the list of treatments for COVID, isn't it?
But the fear among the Western allies has
maybe later. So yeah, I got gum in my mouth right now, but I'll get some in a minute.
Affiliate of the Islamic State would seek to carry out an attack.
Oh, Butterbean, I think I know who you are, and I'm going to block you, sweetheart. There you go. I know who you are, and I'm going to block you. You're still not welcome in my shit, Butterbean.
To referring to the Taliban as an extremist group.
No, thank you. Create another channel and come back, and next time try to keep your mouth shut so that I don't recognize who you are.
Extreme group of people. They see the Taliban as too moderate. They blame the Taliban for what they see as collaboration with the United States around the perimeter of the airport. And so ISIS has been looking for a way to undermine the Taliban.
I'm not going to debate this shit while people are dying.
This may have been their way of doing it, guys.
So just to reset a bit for
I have been live. I haven't been going live a whole bunch because I'm visiting a lot. I haven't been feeling good for a couple of days.
We started getting reports about an explosion outside the Kabul airport. We've since learned that
you tried to mute her, but it wouldn't let you.
Explosions in that area.
Huh? I wonder why. You are a moderator. Well, it did let me hide her on my channel, so she can still watch in the hallway, but she can't talk.
We know that there are
yeah, I'm okay.
As a result of this,
I was just not feeling good. I slept for like 2 days. It was weird. I'm glad I'm feeling better now.
That we have in terms of injured.
Yeah, and to be clear, the Pentagon has not given any numbers yet, so we have no official numbers from the Pentagon other to say that they can confirm
there have been casualties.
US and civilian casualties.
U.S. and civilian.
Taliban sources, they tell NBC News that it was a suicide attack that killed 13 people, including children and many others who were injured. Taliban also claimed that Italian military personnel were deployed at the gate where the blast took place, that U.S. officials moved their people inside the airport a few minutes before the blast occurred. Again, keep in mind the source there is Taliban sources. Speaking with NBC News, we're still awaiting more information.
Why are you broadcasting shit that the Taliban says to you, you dumb motherfucker? Seriously. NBC News now, why the fuck are you even repeating shit that the Taliban tells you?
2 explosions. The Pentagon's calling it a complex attack. And so what does that mean? That means that it's something that was in potentially more than one location, potentially more.
Why is he repeating shit that the Taliban tells him? But I get shut down for speculating? That's all the fucking Taliban says. Well, Butterhag tells you, you dumb motherfucker, that you shouldn't have said that shit. You gonna tell him what I said too?
It's a straight shot from the front of the Barron Hotel to the Abbey Gate. It's an easy walk. And in fact,
your builder hasn't messaged you in a bit, and yesterday he told us his fiance's kids have COVID, and one of his workers just got tested and they're waiting on the results.
Other Westerners, including British, who've been gathering there.
I'm sorry, Boondock.
Potentially one of the reasons that this was targeted.
Give them zero fucking attention, CBS, NBC News. You hear me, NBC News? Fucking idiots.
There have been very specific threats that mirror
him, his fiance, and their kids. Oh my God! And he's been in your house?
Last week or Saturday.
Or you're just waiting on the bus? Okay. You're waiting on the bus to get finished because they all have COVID. Did they bring you?
Large crowds gathered outside these gates.
Did they come into your tiny house?
The big concern was that ISIS would take advantage of the crowds.
Sick, you think? In the last 10 days? In the last 5 days, have they been in your house? If so, you probably need to go to get tested. Anybody that they have been around probably needs to go get tested at the first symptom. Not right away, but at the first symptom, because you could be spreading it. Be very careful.
also attacking
because nobody's requiring any kind of a
the Abbey Gate, the American consular officers who
quarantine period. Everybody has given up on trying to control this. We overreacted too early. Last year, we overreacted too early. We should have just shut down red areas, not the entire fucking country.
Again, we don't
Should have shut down airports, travels, and red areas.
Casualties both among U.S. and Afghans. We don't know if the casualties.
Oh, so you're not going in and out of it. He's working on it at his place.
The bottom of that, and we don't have a good sense of whether that
It just delays you being able to move in. Well, I hope they're all okay.
Those are all the questions that we're still trying to get answers to here, Joe.
And we'll tell people that we're showing images of planes taking off. This is video of past flights having taken off.
What did Laura Ming say?
We don't know the degree.
I want to view it. Don't tell me. I'll just view it.
At this point, Courtney, there were several different news conferences planned in Washington this morning on a variety of topics. They've all since been postponed or canceled. What are your sources telling you about what is
I just got a message
right now in terms of planning, in terms of
my anti-vax cousin, you know, the brother who was, I mean, the cousin Wendy who was so excited. Fuck.
Of these attacks might be on the evacuation.
Cousin Wendy was so excited to get Donald Trump, and is in Georgia and is an anti-vaxxer, anti-masker. Her baby brother, my cousin, is being taken off life support because he has COVID. He just died of COVID in the hospital.
I would imagine that the most immediate effort right now is being focused on helping anyone who's injured or killed. Getting them.
I have no more fucking tolerance.
Securing the airport perimeter, if in fact there has been any kind of a breach, and making sure that you have full accountability of all Americans.
10 years younger than I am.
Military and civilians, State Department.
He's 10 years younger than I am. And he was just taken off life support because he died of COVID.
And then that opens up the next question. What would a military response to this even?
Oh, it's not my loss. He's a Trump supporter. He's an anti-vaxxer. One of my anti-vaxxing relatives, close relatives. I grew up with him. We played at each other's house all the time. I know him well. He has carried me in the house when I was too drunk to walk before. He just died of COVID.
The U.S., as they have pulled U.S.
anti-vaxxers. He just died of COVID. He was a Republican, and he just died of COVID.
That they had about those groups, where they're operating and what they are doing. Because of that, being able to just go and carry out airstrikes to kind of strike back at ISIS for an attack. It's not as easy as it may have been.
My sister messaged me. She's the last person I want to hear from, honestly, but
that they've had there are firmly fixed on Kabul right now. They are focused on this evacuation effort. If they have drones overhead, they're there to be sure that they are securing the airport, where they have still more than 5,000 U.S. troops operating.
We are not strong enough as humans in this world, with all of our intercommunications, to live without vaccinations. I agree, Simon. It is killing people. No, I wasn't close with him as an adult. We were cool as kids and teenagers and young adults, but as older adults, mature older adults, he remained on the side of racism and intolerance and hate, and I woke up. So he was one of my family members who held on to the small town, sundown town type mentality. I do not feel like the world lost anything, because he and his sister are, as adults, full of hate and intolerance. The world didn't lose anything. It is sad that he was festered that way. He was festered that way. I didn't stay in those circles for my entire life, so my eyes opened up. I have been a national traveler since I was young. I've lived in so many different states, working, doing different jobs. Is this D or is it Jake?
were they still flying people out who were left in the airport? There were still several thousand people waiting to get on flights. So they would have the individuals, the bodies, to put on.
He was only 50 years old, and he just got life support turned off from COVID. He was an anti-vaxxer. He was a Trump supporter. He loves the rebel flag. But we were close as kids. And as young adults, he one time carried me in the house when I was too drunk to walk. 10 years younger than I am.
An airport that was under attack, which this was. The gate of the airport.
Made sure I got home safe, carried me in the house.
They would not have flight ops continuing during that, but we just don't.
And was really so worried about me that when I was in the bathroom throwing up, a girl came into the bathroom to look for me. And she said, "Who are you?
To evacuate from Afghanistan. And then today,
You have a friend that has been taking the cow wormer and have all had COVID, and her husband is back in the hospital with ruptures in his colon, and she's still taking it."
Physical abilities. What is the effort?
The cow warmer.
Look like in terms of
Don't
of
take
the
cow
evacuation?
warmers.
How big a lift would it be to try to get this operation finished?
I was in the bathroom. I went out drinking with my cousin that just died of COVID. And I was in the bathroom throwing up because I drank too much, too fast. And he sent this woman in the bathroom to make sure I was okay. And I was so sick I couldn't respond to her. I wanted her to shut the hell up.
It would stand to reason that those were the
Cow dewormer. Does it have hydrochloroquine in it? Is that why they're doing it?
To Kabul. The remaining ones are the ones who are
Perforated colons. What the hell? Who started that?
Likely, if outside of Kabul.
So I said, "I can't talk right now. Tell him I'm sick." And she started going on and on about, it must be so nice to have someone who cares so much about you. It must be so nice to have someone who loves you. Sorry, you guys, I have to talk about this. He just died.
They can get these hundreds, even if it ends up.
She was so jealous because he was out in the hallway
on aircraft. It's a matter of how
worried about me.
Safely to the airport.
And she said it must be so nice.
U.S. military aircraft going out, helicopters going.
And then when I got out of the bathroom, he helped me to the car, took me home, helped me in the house, put me to bed, gave me a kiss on the forehead.
You know, I've been saying that the U.S. military on the ground
and
is
left.
Coordinating with the Taliban. So it seems plausible that they could work out something with the Taliban where they would allow the U.S. to use military helicopters to pick people up.
Right, they're taking sheep dewormer. Well, they call us sheep.
Monolithic organization. There's the group that's in Kabul right now. Many of them are the best fighters. They are really the most elite of the fighters.
Rest in peace to Wayne.
Once you get further and further outside the capital, with the exception of Kandahar, where they also have a very
That's a good memory to hold on to.
Fighting force. Many of these are younger.
I had a lot of annoying younger cousins. Wayne was never one of them. Wayne was never one of them. Wayne was never a pain in my ass when the family got together like some of my other cousins were.
If the U.S. were to go outside.
He was never one of the annoying cousins.
I don't think we should focus so much on the number, but on how
he met his
British, like the French, many others.
My connection dropped. I had to reboot my phone.
Our Turkish friends
Connection came right back after I rebooted my phone.
Kabul, and specifically around the airport for decades.
So here I am.
They are also wrapping things up. So it's a multi-tier integration, complex. Department of Defense, then the interagency, then the international.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi went out.
Okay, I want to ask you just to clarify something. I thought I heard you say that the CIA sort of becomes the lead on this, as opposed to this being a State Department operation that is supported by the Defense Department. The CIA, you think, because of this attack, assumes a more significant role in handling what happens from. You know, it's 11:44 on the East Coast right now. It's from this moment on.
No. What I meant was.
Hi, Pamela Roberts. Good to see you.
Defense correctly.
Yes, I'm back. I'm listening to what they're saying.
Get our last troops out of there by Tuesday or so. At that point, the mission of collecting intelligence in Afghanistan is focused on the Central Intelligence Agency.
Okay.
Normally, the CIA has the lead, but has immense support from the Department of Defense to do that. When that support leaves, it is going to be very much the CIA doing this, and that's going to be a very challenging handoff, if you will.
Admiral, I mean, in your mind, what does this do to the August 31st
Yeah.
deadline, if anything? Does it
Yes, I did. I replied to it too, Pamela. Thank you so much.
push it further?
I
mean, in
appreciate
your
it.
mind,
Look,
what should this
Holly
do?
found my other earring.
I do not believe it will accelerate.
Holly found my other
It would
earring.
be, I think,
Yay.
a misstep for us to appear as though a
Yeah.
couple of bombs go off outside the airport and we just fold everything up and run away. I don't think that's what we're going to do, nor is it what we should do.
They're trying to get me to buy the next best
president was
phone.
very clear he wants to wrap this
Fur
up
babies
by
are great.
31st.
Fur babies are doing quite
There's
well,
a
thank
small
you.
possibility that this could create the atmosphere where the U.S. and the Taliban would collectively say, we're going to extend the deadline a bit, but I think that's very unlikely. I don't feel that the White House is trending in that direction, even factoring this attack in, nor do I think that the Taliban
Thank you,
have any appetite
Boondock.
for it as well.
Thank
Bottom
you.
line, I think the deadline will remain Tuesday.
Beyond that point, the suggestion has been made today that there could be hundreds of thousands of Afghans who want to leave still, today on Thursday. Actually, Amber, I'm going to, for the benefit of our viewers who are watching, there's new video that we're just getting in that we're showing you right now from Kabul, and you can see.
Okay, so this is new video.
As it occurs to us, it looks as though people who maybe were injured are being loaded into and out of ambulances.
Oh my God, people
And
got their
as we
eyes
believe
blown
it's at
off.
or near the scene. Again, we are still waiting for more official numbers as to exactly how many casualties. All we know is what you see on the screen there. The Pentagon says there is an unknown number of casualties after this explosion. A hospital in Kabul telling NBC News that 30 wounded arrived there. 6 died on their way to the hospital. But at this point, we also have Taliban sources who have told NBC News, and this was a little while ago, so it's hard to know if the numbers have changed. Clearly, this is a fluid situation.
Suicide attack
But,
kills
a suicide
13
attack
people,
killed
including...
13 people, including children.
Why are you telling us what the Taliban is saying, you dumb son of a bitch?
NBC News is joining us again here.
Why are you telling us what the Taliban
An
says?
attack like this, and we now get
Trying to legitimize their country, their
I
government.
assume the expectation is that the folks who would go into a crowd to execute an attack like this would want to do maximum damage. The goal would be to injure or kill as many people as possible. And to hear numbers like 13 and 30, would you anticipate that could worsen, given this happened about 6 in the evening there?
Sure, I think it could get worse, but remember what they're trying to achieve from ISIS case perspective. One, they want to inflict pain on the U.S. and the Taliban. It's a dual-purpose attack. Second, they want to create and incite panic.
NBC News is making me really angry right now.
Right, it's to use violence.
Hello, Capture Kim. I'm well, thank you. How are you? I hope you're still doing as well as you were the last time I talked to you. It's so awful. Hi, Laura Ming.
In Kabul. The third thing
I'm trying to watch the TV and be able to see what you guys say.
They're getting that out into the broader public. The best way to do that from their perspective is to hit a soft target like you see here, and to hit targets where Westerners are and where Western journalists will cover it. And I think from that perspective, they've already achieved that goal. It's natural that we're going to report about it. Those casualties need to be discussed, but it also sort of reinforces their objectives to a degree, which is getting their message out, showing that they have a stake to play in Afghanistan. So I wouldn't be surprised if you saw this follow up. I think some things to look for in the coming days, if we do see more IED attacks against the gates, we see more IED attacks against Western targets, and the pace quickens, that means that there is significant terrorist capability out in Kabul, and it is being unmet by counterterrorism. That's one of the things we've been able to do over the last 1 to 2 decades, was we built capacity to do counterterrorism even inside part of our plan to sort of rebuild Afghanistan. You would see the U.S. military move out. They might do a strike against an Al-Qaeda node or an ISIS node or a Taliban enclave. if that pressure isn't there, the question is, can ISIS-K really accelerate those attacks if this is them that's behind it? All indications seem to suggest that. So if they can do that kind of acceleration, that would mean that there's significant terrorist capability in the country, and this could be a quickly growing and unstable environment.
What did you think would happen?
Earlier in the hour,
What did people think it would happen?
Security situation
when we pulled out.
Afghanistan, even inside the Taliban.
This reminds me of
Different
Vietnam.
elements of Taliban, they have different interests. There's urban versus rural. There's old versus young. There's so many dynamic things unfolding here right now. I don't think it's even able to be anticipated how this will completely unfold in the next few weeks and months.
Clint, this is clearly a very fluid situation right now. We're still waiting to learn more from
Nationwide
the
now owes me $2,000.
White House and the Biden
So now I'm going to try and
administration.
collect my
From your perspective,
$2,000.
What are your biggest?
How did they owe you 2,000?
I think,
Because I never
these
signed
questions
their
are
policy,
absolutely able to
and they
start
sent a bill to my
reestablishing the process for
lender
getting
anyway.
those flights out of the country.
My lender paid the
Ultimately,
bill.
there's a
Now they owe
timeline
me
that's been
$2,000. I never signed their
The
policy
faster the US
documents.
moves, the more likely,
They owe me $2,472.
You didn't electronically sign it? Because I electronically signed.
I decided against using Nationwide and stayed with Cincinnati Insurance. I communicated that to Nationwide. They ignored it. Cincinnati Insurance has now canceled my policy because they haven't been paid. And Nationwide has $2,000 of my money.
The less of a target there is. So I would look to see what is the speed at which the U.S.
Did you guys hear that shit?
Back up, and can they do that somewhat unimpeded?
She thought about changing her insurance, so she called Nationwide. At the last minute, after finding out how much it was going to cost and how little they were going to cover and blah, 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 she changed her mind and said, no, I am not going to use your company. And she did not sign the electronic documents that they sent her to sign. She did not cancel her old auto insurance policy. She stayed with her auto insurance policy. Her bank, Nationwide, sent the bill to her bank. Her bank started paying Nationwide and stopped paying her old insurance. So, Nationwide doesn't have an insurance policy for her, and her old insurance just canceled her insurance policy for non-payment. I guess in Ohio, the bank makes your insurance payment. So, the bank got $2,000 from her. I mean, Nationwide got $2,000 from her, and she doesn't have a Nationwide policy. And now she doesn't have any insurance at all because the bank stopped paying the real person who owned the policy.
It would be very difficult to not have massive collateral damage from any sort of air operations and doing any sort of.
She's not having a good day. My friend Holly is just not having a good day. I think we need cheesecake.
Throughout the day, we are following this breaking news, the latest information.
I think we need some cheesecake.
The Pentagon confirming this explosion outside of Kabul airport just hours after the U.S. and other allies warned of an imminent terror attack. There you see Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby's tweet. It says we can confirm the explosion at the Abbey Gate was the result of a complex attack that resulted in a number of U.S. and civilian casualties. We can also confirm at least one other explosion.
There's two explosions in Kabul.
A short distance from Abbey Gate. There you see a map that lays out exactly where the airport is. Abbey Gate located on the edge there in Barron Hotel, according to Courtney Cubey, about 150 meters from that. How many casualties? That remains an important question right now. Taliban sources told NBC News earlier today that there was a suicide attack that killed 13 people, including children, and many others were injured, but we do not have any numbers yet from the Pentagon or from any U.S.
Isn't that horrible?
This time, we also know one of the
that is horrible.
That 30 people were
so now she has to go get her money back from Nationwide and give it to her old insurance company and tell her bank. She said she told everybody. They failed to follow through. So now she's screwed.
We'll continue with our coverage of the events unfolding in Afghanistan right after a short break.
It's a short break. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here. I just had to talk to somebody, and Holly is working. So I thought I would go live. I hope I have won my appeal by now. But if not, I will see you probably on YouTube later. I got to go talk my friend down off the cliff. I love you guys. You have a wonderful day. Now I'm going to wait for the lag today. Okay, hugs for Holly. That's horrible, isn't it? Yeah. Holy cow. She's having a really bad day. Because that's our only mode of transportation. And it doesn't have insurance now. We don't have any legal insurance on her vehicle. I will talk to you guys later.